we're about to hit free agency bonanza. And though it doesn't appear to be as much fun as we thought it would be, it's still going to be wild. There's still going to be guys that get contracts like, what? Huh? How much? And when you look at it, you sit there and go, all right, what do you do if you're the Brooklyn Nets? So the Brooklyn Nets, they honestly and truthfully believe that their culture is so good. Remember, it's established. They hired Sean Marks, who comes in from San Antonio, played at Cal, Aussie, great way about him. Now, here's a guy who understands what they've done in San Antonio. Let's kind of create that same thing. And he made chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. Like he inherited an absolute abject disaster. And then early on, they took on bad contracts. And you're like, what are they doing? Hired Kenny Atkinson, and man, it kind of came together this year. And so the thought is, if you have the culture already established, you can now bring in a star, kind of like what the Clippers are doing. Bring in a star, they'll absorb the culture. So the Lakers will reportedly meet with D'Angelo Russell, which I'll get to him in a second. The Nets are reportedly worried about only signing Kyrie Irving to a max contract without another star like Kevin Durant to pair with him. Like, yeah, we heard about Kyrie and the Kyrie thing when he's the guy, and we're not that big a fan of the Kyrie thing. I'll defend Kyrie from this argument, right? From this argument. Do I think Kyrie Irving is a leader? I don't. I don't think Kyrie knows exactly who he is. I think he knows what he wants to be. I'm not sure he knows exactly how to get there. Right? It's like, you ever had that dream destination that you want to, man, I really want a vacation in Croatia. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get the time to get away? Where are you going to stay? Like, I have no idea. I just know that at some point in the very near future, I want a vacation in Croatia. It looks gorgeous. And because it hasn't been, the destination for other people until recently, kind of doesn't sound crazy expensive. Weather's nice, people are nice. I might be able to get away with speaking English, right? How do you get there? No idea. I'm sure I could fly to New York and then from New York fly to Croatia, but that sounds expensive. And then stopping in Europe sounds really, really long. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Get that much time off work. But at some point in time, I want to do it. That's Kyrie Irving with becoming a superstar. I made a movie and people like me, but for whatever reason, I'm not viewed as one of the top 10 players in the NBA. I'm just not. Now, I'll give Kyrie the pass from this perspective. It's not just Kyrie that led to the downfall of the Celtics. It's not. I shared a story about Kyrie and one of the questions he asked of Brad Stevens earlier this year, and Twitter took it, and it's become pretty funny, right? Because he walked in one day in the film and asked Brad Stevens, "What do you think the word government means?" I mean, look, the other example that was given me from Boston people is go back and watch the series against the Bucks. How many times he switched off and he's guarding Giannis. And if it looked weird to you, it looked weird to everybody on the Celtics bench or in the Celtics brass. It's in fact what Terry Rozier was talking about. Their whole defensive game plan was a lot like the Warriors and how they hide Steph Curry. They wanted to hide Kyrie Irving. Some of it because he's not a very good defender. Some of it because you want to rest him as well at defense. Because on offense, that's where he can lead the team. And you go back and watch, and there's some instances where all of a sudden Giannis is being guarded by Kyrie Irving. Man up, spread court. Like, no, that's not what we want. But it's because Kyrie's ego was in the way. He doesn't know who he is. But I'll give him this bit of a pass. Look, could you have seen the fact that when his knee was bothering him, they'd take out the metal and then they'd find out the screws in his knee, one of them was infected? Who saw that coming? Could you have seen Gordon Hayward break his leg in half? Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen them advancing in the playoffs to the Eastern Conference Finals without either? And because they had had a pre-established culture before he got there, and because Brad Stevens was beloved by star players, including LeBron James, and earned the respect of LeBron and others in the NBA, and because they had succeeded on some level without him, got to a Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals without their two highest paid stars. When he returned, he wasn't just fighting over the, is it conch or conch? Did we establish what that is? Lord of the Flies? You know, whoever has the conch or conch actually was in control of all the other boys. He wasn't just fighting over the conch, whatever. Like he's fighting against the, hey, we were better without you and without Gordon. And then he's also dealing with they're trying to play Gordon Hayward too much because they paid him a bunch of money and they were trying to have him ready for the playoffs, and he wasn't good enough to be getting the minutes, which cuts down on everybody else's minutes and cuts down on their shots, which cuts down on their points, and they are ticked. That's not on Kyrie Irving. That's on bad luck, on bad management, on coaches that are unable to kind of share the message of why and what exactly they're doing. But let's be honest. If you're the Brooklyn Nets, aren't you just a little bit cautious of the reputation that he has? A little bit? Aren't you just sitting there going like, wait, we got a good thing going here. We got a good thing going here. Yeah, maybe we're a player away from competing for a championship, or at least putting ourselves in that discussion. And if Toronto loses Kawhi, like, man, that steps us up. And we add somebody, they lose somebody. But yeah, they should rightfully be concerned. Because he came across like an a-hole all year long. And when you come across that way enough, your reputation becomes established. It's really hard to climb out of. The same goes for D'Angelo Russell. Like, wait, the Lakers are going to meet with him? The previous coaching staff told somebody close to me that he was their least favorite Laker they had ever been around. And the guys that I was talking to had been around the Lakers a long time. He was a combination of being entitled and not being nearly as good as he thought. Plus, he wanted to be a leader, a lot like Kyrie, but he was a hangout guy, like to go out at night and do the Hollywood thing. And then he would do the worst thing, which is like bring the other guys with him. So none of them got their work done. All of them were hangout guys. And yeah, he made the All-Star team as a replacement. And he did absorb the culture of Brooklyn. But wouldn't there be a buyer beware if Brooklyn doesn't offer him a big contract and they just had unforeseen success and he was their best scorer? Like, wouldn't that tell you all you need to know about how Brooklyn feels about him? Are we really going to do this again? We're going to like, no, D'Angelo's different. And I do think that he's different. I do think that he's matured some. But he is a volume guy. You know, there's a reason that they tied their ship to Spencer Dinwiddie instead of him. And a lot like the Celtics, they don't want to lose Kyrie, but they're not all that bummed that he's gone. The Nets don't want to lose D'Angelo, but they're not going to be all that bummed that he's gone. Shouldn't that tell you something if you're other teams? Well, tell me something. Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus everybody else who's awesome here in Fox Sports Radio.